Good evening, YouTube. Uh, Aslam Upholstery here. Today, I'm gonna be sharing a little information that I might prove useful to viewers that are interested in doing upholstery and maybe the very basic stuff into the intermediary. I'm not a professional by any means, but I've been doing upholstery for a long time. My father, later on I'll show you a picture of my father. He did it for over 40 years. He passed away in 2014, but he shared with me what he could in the duration of time I was working with him from 2008 to 2014. I had my own business in Jamaica, and prior to moving here to the United States, and I pretty much picked up where I left off in 2019. I did not do so right away after getting here. So fortunately, we've been successful, or I've been successful in doing this since 2019. So I have 6 dining room chairs. Today is the 18th of December. I have 6 dining room chairs that I need to have completed by this Saturday. Customer need it for Christmas break. So to start out, you'll get the concept of it at a later date. Of what it is at a later date. This is the back portion of the seat. This is the inside out. Turn it around for you. There we go. Yeah, filter material. But this is the chairs are, it's 6 chairs, and they're sectioned off into 4 different sections. You got the center back, the arms, and the seat area. So this is for the center back. I'm gonna need 6 of these. Front and back is gonna be 12 pieces altogether, because we're gonna separate it at the seam. So that's the back, 6 of those. This is the arm. We're gonna need 12 of these. Same concept, just different area. So this is the arm inside. These holes are where the screw-in is attached through. Screw holes, outer back, or inner side, outer side. Same concept. And then the seat just has 2 panels along the sides, and then the main panel. So pretty much that's what we got going on. Same exact thing we got going on here, except it's now separated. Seat area, outer main center back, outer arm, inner center back. So to do our templates, we're using this fabric today. We're using this fabric today. 18 yards, this is 18 yards. You might not need that much, but this is 18 yards. Canelli Dove, material is called Canelli Dove. It's a nice, durable, commercial grade material. So to do your templates, a helpful way I found of doing templates is using an iron. So Of course, you'll have your half-inch seam. You'll have your half-inch seam allowance that you sew with. So you have the finishing area, and then you add another half an inch to give you something for the machine to go up against on the machine, to use as a guide. And that extra half inch you can fold and make different stitch design. One that we'll be using on this is a French stitch, I believe it's called. Again, not a professional, limited knowledge, but it's helped me so far. And I'm just hoping that I can share this out there in the universe and it helps someone else who, because you can use these basic stuff to make a living. We'll be doing dining room chairs, like basic dining room chairs, stapling of basic dining room chairs. We'll be doing wingback chairs. We just did a diamond tufting lounge chair in genuine leather. That was big for me because that was my first time working with that. So that was awesome. Sorry about the clothes that I work out of my garage. So that's my son's clothes. That's where it's located at the moment. As things progress, we'll get things in order. My sewing machine over there is cluttered. My serger machine is over there, cluttered. Yeah, we'll get it together. But for right now, we're on crunch time, or I'm on crunch time to get this project done before this Saturday. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna get going and iron these out and making the templates and getting all the pieces together. Then I'll take you over to the sewing machine, give you a little brief rundown as to what we'll be doing. And then as things progress, I'll keep you in the loop and show you step by step. I'm gonna pause the video and then I'll resume with showing you, I give you an idea of what I mean by ironing and getting a template. Please, when doing templates, pay attention to the amount of stitch allowance, because it's not always half an inch. You can get it wrong. For instance, this stitch seam allowance look larger than half an inch. It looks more like a 5/8 of an inch. And the way to verify that is through my tape measure or ruler. I have several instruments that I use. I got this basic centimeter inches ruler. It's basic inches ruler. I have two of them. They're a little bit beat up. Been using them for a while. This one has seen better days. But they're basic 2 feet or 24 inches, 6 inches wide rulers. One is 6 inches wide and the other is 6.5 inches wide. This one is 6.5 inches wide. This one is 6 inches wide. I found this on Sailrite or Amazon, and this as well on Amazon. I use these two rulers, and I got this from my local supply store here in Tacoma, Rexpec Fabric. It's a metal ruler, will last a very long time. I got millimeter on the back. I don't use that measurement. And we got inches on this side, but it's from 1 to 60, top, bottom. This comes very handy. And then I have the big dog. I have this big dog. This one is 96 inches metal ruler. Got it off Amazon. Believe 2, if not 2.5 inches wide. Let me measure to confirm. So I'm not giving you any wrong information. Yeah, 2 inches wide. This one is, I believe, is 1.5 inches wide. Yes, 1.5 inches wide. So these are my highly used tools. I use markers, Sharpie. I use Sharpie, and I use chalk, fabric chalk, and some of my basic tools, scissors, staple puller, tack puller, pliers. This is another tack puller. These use heavily. These three tools are two tools used heavily when pulling staples, and it's a tedious job. So that you have to brace for. There's easy part or simpler part, but then the challenging part, most challenging and can be can be the most discouraging part is pulling staples. So you got to brace for that, because what can I compare it to? It's like trying to get to the juicy part, but to get to the juicy part or the finishing product, you gotta do the work. There's no way around it. There's no easy way. Well, some cases, I'll give you a tour at some point of my shop. Me and my buddies built this table. It had some built-in drawers over here. I just pull them out. Different sizes. Got a bunch of dual tools here. A helpful dual tool that can be used in some areas is this Dremel. Is this Dremel tool, oscillating tool, right? With the carbon tip blade. And some projects you can run it, hold on to the material and glide along to get up some of the staples. But for the most part, it's your wrist and shoulders, just prying staples, But be careful with using this on delicate projects, because you screw up a customer's project, that's it. You're in another financial deficit to take care of that out of pocket. But I discovered this recently as a very useful and helpful tool to have or use in certain situation. I got my skill saw, nail gun, drill, etc. Basic tools. But these are some of the stuff I use for my basic upholstery needs that I use most frequently. So with that being said, I'm gonna get my iron out and begin straightening these out. One way to do it also is to cut at the seam, cut off the excessive. If you don't want to sew with such a large seam allowance, you can cut at the thread line where the original stitching was. So that would be, if you can see here, that would be, it's a little bit dark, but it would be the main stitching that run directly underneath this liner. I'll show you a more clear diagram at the sewing machine. But I'll be stitching, you'll be cutting right here and then cutting off the excessive seam allowance, and then blueprint that and add your own with 1/4 of an inch seam allowance or 1/2 inch seam allowance, whatever you're comfortable sewing with. Some people like larger, some people like smaller. However, a lot of these chairs some of these style chairs are mass produced, so in a factory they just put the fabric on a machine or a table, and the CNC machine just do this all day, and they just pick it up and then someone just run it under the sewing machine and done. Well, these are useful skills to have that would help you, that can be used to create a living for yourself. And you can only, it's like in college. You just keep learning, you're experiencing new stuff. You can go into car upholstery, you can go into boat upholstery, furniture upholstery, mid-century modern, etc. There's a broad avenue. It's a dying trade, I've been constantly told. So I'm hoping to share this information that might be come across as useful to somebody who is trying and is looking for a way out and is good with their hands and is good trying to figure out, because I'm not skilled in anything 100%. You know, I can do a little plumbing, I can do landscaping, I can do mechanic. There's some mechanic videos on my channel. Yeah, basic stuff. I can do sheetrock work, painting. Yeah, I got my hands in a lot of little things that I'm capable of doing, that, you know, observe and figure out or try to understand, or, you know, basic stuff. So yeah, this is the material we'll be using. I just screw some screws at the edge of my table here, so my rulers just fits nicely right here, so whenever I need them I just reach for them. And yeah, same thing, I got a screw on this side that I just kind of hang up these two right here. Oh, and I got a square. Sometimes it comes in handy. I have that up right here as well. So yeah, there you have it. So we're doing templates. Of course, this is one of my staple guns. I don't use this a lot, but I do use it. The primary one I use is this Porto cable one. If I can find it, hiding somewhere. Yeah, just a little bit disorganized right now. Oh yeah, let me show you this one. I'll be working on a project where I have to use this one. It's used for decorative tack, installing decorative tacks. Hey, we're gonna have a lot of fun. Yeah, I'm gonna show you guys a lot of stuff. My father used this for years. Hand staple, you know, Stanley basic hand staple. This is all he would use. Even when I got a new compressor and a hose and the air gun, and to make it easier in his hand, nope. He was old school. Yeah, he would just use this. No, yeah, he was like, yep, no, I'm good. I'm sticking to what I'm comfortable with. To each their own. So yeah. Where's that stick? So yeah, I'll find it, and you'll see me use it. I'll use it. So I'm gonna find that iron and get. So I found the iron that I'm gonna use. Just basic home iron. I decided I'm going to trim the additional seam allowance, or the original seam allowance, and re-establish my personal desired half-inch seam allowance. This is my cat Sebastian. He's a handful. I got two of them, two boy cats. This is Sebastian. Leo is around here somewhere. He's a mild tuxedo. You just have a smidge of white under his chin right here, but he's pretty much all black for the most part. They're brothers, same litter, but yeah, I gotta fight them off the table. They want to destroy everything. They're still young. They're like five months old. Anyway, that's one aspect. So yes, I'm going to trim this seam allowance and re-establish a 1/2 inch seam allowance because this one is larger. Yes, I promised to measure it. So let's do that. Basic tape measure, tailor tape measure. This one is 60 inches wide. And I have another one that has seen better days. That one is 120 inches long. Yeah, this one has seen better days. But yeah, it's twice as long. The iron will burn you, but let's get you done. Don't worry, I'm not abusing him. He's landing on a blanket I got on the ground here. So let's see how long this seam allowance is. Yep, as I suspected. 5/8 of an inch, not 1/2 inch. And I sew with 1/2 inch seam allowance. So I decided against taking the time because you want to save time as much as possible. So I decided against trimming the pre-existing seam allowance to take the extra time out to establish the 1/2 inch seam allowance. So what I'll do, I'll just make a new mark on my sewing machine plate, presser foot plate, and feed dog plate. A new mark from the needle, from the contact point of the needle to 5/8 of an inch to the right of that, and then put my magnet at that line and just sew with a 5/8 inch seam allowance. So I'm gonna save some time. So like, as I was saying to you, it's just basic iron with steam. You know, crumble along nicely. Yeah. You know, you just want it flat. No, this is not necessary or gonna work very well for all fabrics. Some fabric will melt. So note that too. Don't use this or try to use this on every fabric. So pay attention to what you plan to use this for. And not every project you're going to be able to do this. Some projects you're gonna need to manually make templates, meaning you're gonna need to get in there with your pins and needles and stretch patterns and sample patterns and pin it at the edges or the seams, and then cut and make your own shape. When things get technical like that, that's kind of some of the things you're gonna need to resort to. Not every case you're gonna be able to iron your way through, but this is one of the easy basic way of going about prepping templates. This is one of many ways to prep templates. So as this piece, as I was telling you earlier, is for the seat. I need 6 of these. So also, not every piece you need to iron. Some of them you can actually just straight up measure. Since I have them here, let me just show you. So you have an idea. This is one of the arms. I believe, yeah, this is the front area. So this one would belong to the right side. So this is one of the arms. This is the inside portion, and this is, you know, the cutouts that you saw earlier on the fabric for the screws to mount to it. It's gonna be beautiful. So this is one of the arms. This longer one is the back. They typically, you'll pull apart some furniture and you'll find plastic on it. And the plastic is to help the material slide down because these, when these are sewn, they're gonna fit like gloves. So you're gonna have to roll it on it. So the plastic over it helps to provide that extra sliding support. So it fits a little bit smoother. But removing the plastic to show you, yeah, this is the inner back area. You know, the other ones go off to the side there. Everything is attached to the central point, which is the seat. So screw from underneath the seat at the back goes through here, and at the sides go to the arms. So yeah, this is the back. The seats are buried. Again, I'm working on in my garage, very small space. Over there, I got the lounger section, fridge, clothes. It's a little bit cluttered right now, but it's what I got to work with. I drive garbage truck also, so this is my second gig. So yeah, just trying to provide some information that might help someone who is interested. So yeah, so on average, some fabric, not a whole lot, measure 36 inches. The average, well, the average I've worked with, the average width. So the length of the roll, which is the 18 yards, and then the width. The standard width of fabric I've worked with is 54, 58 inches, 56 inches, 54 to 58 inches, within that range. However, some of them might be 48 inches. But the standard pattern typically runs along the length of the fabric. You can make, you know, adjustments and work with it a different way. Like for instance, this one, based on the design, I can choose either to take the pattern along the width, or I can choose to take the patterns along the length. Not every fabric that can. Reason why I'm able to do that is because the patterns I'm working with fit within the width of the fabric, within the width. So I'm able to do that. However, I'm going to do it the correct way and work along the length of the fabric. So yeah, basically what I did, you know, just mark the template, position this, you know, on the wrong side of the fabric. Again, not every material you use a Sharpie on. And I just pretty much trace the edges all the way around to the T. Including this notch in the middle. Because the notch, you use the central point, you connect the central point, that way when you sew it, everything is evenly done around. And when I'm cutting out the material, good thing to pay attention to, because a marker or whatever you're using can take up a significant amount of overage. So what you want to do is trim the material on the inside of the mark, just on the edge, on the inside of the mark, because some mark can cover an area of as much as of an 1/8 of an inch. And an 1/8 of an inch can make a significant difference. So what I did was cut the fabric on the inside of the mark, all the way around. And hence, this is our result. So this is the panel, the back panel. And I need 6 pieces of this because it's 6 chairs. And this is separate from the front panel, which will be joined to this. So another effective way of cutting out, I know it blends in, so it's kind of hard to see. So another effective way of cutting out fabric, you can do like cartridge paper. I used to use them in school, I probably still do. Um, you can use cartridge paper as templates if the project template you're using fits on that paper. They may have bigger sheets that you can cut it from, but it's, you know, slightly pliable or slightly rigid form of cardboard, but very thin. You can put a template on that, do a template on that, cut that out, and then use that as your main template throughout the process. Another, you know, short-handed way of doing it also is similar. If you can cut a little bit accurately, is just use the original template, make a template from the fabric, and then just use that same template from the same fabric and just trace that for the quantity you need to cut out. So you just follow the edge. Make sure your patterns are lined up, you know, everything is flowing the direction it should be, and pay attention to that, and just follow the edge all the way around. Yeah, just cut as closely and as, you know, kind of use your other hand to hold the other material in place, and just follow the edge with the scissors all the way around, you know, across. Yeah, I have a lot of templates to make. The side pieces, it's 24 pieces. The back pieces, that's 12, 6 front, 6 back. And then the seats, that's 6 pieces. So I have a decent amount to cut. And then 12 side pieces for the seat. 12 side panels. So yeah, you can do it this way as well. So this is an option. So the inner box, the inner portion of the box that the customer will be leaning against, those were done in 2 pieces, a lower half and the upper half, and the upper portion. So what I'm currently doing is joining them 1/2 inch at the seam. It will come down the full length and lap underneath for to seal under the bottom. So I'm not greatly concerned about sewing it at 5/8 of an inch. I could, but the rest of the project I will be sewing at 5/8 of an inch. So for now, I'm just joining up the 6 panels. So this is the first finishing one. Seam at the back. I'll do one for demonstration purposes. So lay your fabric down, and you lay top side facing top side. So like this, and then you run the stitch along the edge. You typically do like a reverse stitch to kind of seal the stitch, and then you make sure your ends are lined up. You can do it this way too. And you just guide it with this hand. Careful not to get your fingers too close to the needle. There's people who has had negative experience, such as having the needle run through their finger because they put it too close, and they've developed a phobia to the point where If they gotta do anything where this area is concerned, they plug the machine out because they have such a fear surrounding getting pierced by the needle. It hurts. It happened to me, but it happened to me a few times years ago when I was using a faster motor and a faster machine, and my coordination wasn't developed properly. So I did get a couple snags from the needles, a couple close calls. So be mindful of that. So yeah, just run it through and do a couple reverse stitch and then lift, cut. So here goes. I've sewn one of the back covers. So this is the front and back attached. However, instead of assuming that everything is perfect and I'm just gonna go ahead and sew all 6, I decided to sew just one to test fit, to make sure that going forward everything fits to the T. And if it's fitting a little bit too tight with the 5/8 of an inch seam allowance. So even though we had cut the template and everything seems okay as if it would fit with the 5/8 seam allowance, I have to now pull the thread, undo it, and re-stitch it again with the 1/2 inch seam, using the 1/2 inch seam allowance. And it's better this than all 6 or the entire project. So just a small correction needed. I will let you know how it fits. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, crafters. So I've managed to sew all the sleeves. I have an order coming in for the plastic to help the sleeves slide on a little bit smoother onto the frames that is covered with foam. So I've sewn 3 seats thus far. I'll show you a sample of these flat stitches. I think they're called French seams. Again, not a professional, but get it correctly at some point. So basically you fold, you're gonna butterfly the seam allowance, the excessive, you're gonna butterfly it. But this time you're gonna sew it on the right side. I have these guide presser foots that give you the distance from the seam. So you can go 1/8 of an inch, 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch, 3/16 of an inch. So I already have one on here. So basically it's butterflied. So I sew down one side, turn it around, sew down the other side. I do have a dual, I do have a left and a right guide, flat stitch guide feet. I have 6 of them. So I do have a left and a right. So instead of changing the feet, you know, in this case I don't have to. I just start on this side and then turn the material around, finish on this side, and then that would cover one side, and then do the same and repeat for the other side. Now I have to do this to 6, 12, 18, and 3, 21. I have to do this style of flat stitching to 21 more. I already done 3 out of the 24 pieces. So I got up early this morning just to get an edge or take advantage of time allotted. Again, still on schedule to have the project finished for this Saturday. So here we go. A good practice to do when sewing is the excessive thread before starting a stitch. It's a good practice to hold on to it, and once the needle make contact 1 or 2 stitches, you can do your reverse. That way you don't bunch up, and because it can create snags. I had a couple experiences this morning, so I wanted to bring that up. It can create snags and binding where the thread get caught up underneath the feed dog into the bobbin casing, and it'll jam the machine. And you don't want to reach halfway or a third of the way through your stitching and it's snagged, because then you're gonna have to pull it out. You're gonna have to pull it out and start over. And it's a good practice, because when you're doing flat stitching on leather, once you pierce that leather, you can't unpierce it. So you gotta be exercise extreme caution when working with leather and having to do anything that have to do with piercing leather or stitching leather. Make sure you gotta cover your bases, cover the foundation. Make sure all of your bases are covered. So just doing this as an example while we're here. It's pretty much repetitive, so I'll just show you this one while I sew the rest of them. But yeah, you gotta keep making sure that the seam allowance is butterflied properly as you stitch, especially along edges and curves. So please be mindful of that. It's gonna be a little bit challenging to see because the thread is gray and the fabric is gray. Yes, you typically want to go with the color of the fabric unless the customer requests otherwise. Yeah, on this one we're doing a quarter of an inch stitching. See, I didn't hold my thread on that one. That was about a pour on my part. Poor habit on my part, but yeah. Practice what you teach, eh? Yeah, don't worry. As long as you get the good from what I'm sharing, it's all that matters. So as an illustration, yeah, again, hard to see. But yeah, it's sewn there. Yeah, very challenging to see, but this will be very flat after you accomplish both sides. In a later video or in another time, I will show you with different color, like a different color fabric and a different color thread, so you have a more clear view of the concept of what I'm trying to explain. Anyway, I'm gonna again follow through with the remaining 21, including this one. Yeah. All right, my beautiful people. I managed to slide all the covers. It's Saturday. They're coming in for it this afternoon. So these are the box. These are what they look like. There's 6 of these. These are the seats. They're not yet stapled together, obviously. They'll look more uniform once they're stapled together. There are 6 of these. And these are the arms. There's 12 of these. Again, everything will look more uniform once they're all assembled, put together, and I'll show you the finishing product. But yeah, so far success in cutting, sewing, fitting. Fits like a glove. All right. Good morning. It is not the 22nd. Sorry, it's not the 23rd. It's not Saturday the 23rd. So we did not make the Saturday timeline. However, the customer was very generous in allowing me to have it completed for pickup at 11 a.m. this morning on the 24th. So, as an example, we made it this far, so I would like to demonstrate something or give you an idea what the assembling looks like after we got to this point. This is the staple gun that I was looking for. It's a Porter Cable pneumatic staple gun. The label is falling off. So these are the seats, as I earlier said. Seats, arms. There's a left and a right. It slopes up. The arms slopes up at the front. So this one is for the left side, and it has a metal on the back here on the inside that mounts to the back portion. So I'm gonna just assemble one of them so you have an idea. I already did 1 out of the 6. This is a second out of the 6. So I'm gonna assemble this one and show you. The 3 screw holes on, 3 screw holes. I'm gonna use a different one because there's 2 odd screws that goes into this one that I need to reuse. So these 2 have 2 odd screws. So some little details you gotta pay attention to, but concept is the same. 3, 3, 3. Slopes up is the front, so front. I got these set up over here for easier assembling, so I'm not chasing things down. Plastic is in the way. Just gotta get that out of the way. Alright, let's try this again. Got our Milwaukee drill set. Just run it down. I got the DeWalt one, but I find this coming very handy because it's lighter. And then you flip it over, repeat the process, except this time we're grabbing one for the right. Right side, right side. One of the things with installing the screws, you don't want to cross thread it or tighten as you go or screw it down as you go. You kind of want to hand catch it as you go. So yeah. See the concept? Yeah, it's an interesting design, you know, it has that floating vibes to it. You know, clean all the way through and through. So now we install one of the back pieces. Still have some final touches to do, but I'm just trying to give you an idea what we got going on. Yeah, that's my son, Aya. Like to make weird song when he's playing on this tablet. Yeah, he's up early. Way too early. So yeah, basically that, and then you just do the same process as with the arms. Line these up with the holes. Grab your bolts, washers and bolts. hand fitted, or catch it with your hand first before you start with the tool. Hand threaded. Still have some finishing. Yeah, sorry about that. I got a phone call. But yeah, just an idea of the assembling process. It's not yet completed. Still have some touch-ups to do. I got these wheels to put on the arms. They go two front, two back, and they go into a slot, so it's super low profile. You know, it go into a slot right there. So yeah, super low profile style chair, and they roll on these wheels. But yeah, nice and uniform. You know, nicely put together. So yeah, no, I just gotta do the remaining 4. Again, I already did one. This is the second one. So yeah.